He says, I have pieces of what is called a flying saucer.
And if anybody got close, they were told to shoot to kill.
Whatever happened at Roswell, I believe that the government covered it up.
This is a very special gathering. For the first time, these people have come together from around the country to a house in Roswell. They're here to share memories of an experience that deeply affected their lives and changed them forever. These are the children of Roswell. They have come home.
Being brought here today and meeting these people that I've heard about all my life, but I've never met most of them, it's like bringing back a part of my father that's gone and bringing alive something that has been buried and should be dug up, should be investigated and exposed for everything that it is, because obviously our families have been greatly affected. Our parents' lives were changed, and we never knew why.
It's been very good to meet some other people involved, because in 1947, I really didn't know there was anyone else involved.
Roswell Army Airfield, home of the 509th Bomb Group, then the only military unit in the world equipped with the A-bomb. During the first week of July 1947, it was business as usual as the officers and men at the base conducted routine flight training operations. But that is about to change.
It was late one night when my dad came in.
Jesse, wake up.
Jesse Marcel Jr. was 12 years old when the Roswell incident occurred. His father was the base intelligence officer at Roswell, and he investigated a crash site where widely scattered debris had been reported by a local rancher.
He woke my mother and myself up out of a sound sleep to show us some debris that he brought in from the desert. And he was very excited. He called this stuff parts of a flying saucer. There was some metal foil-like material, jagged, like it had been ripped or torn. There were some beam-like structures. And looking at this beam, I remembered there was some writing or symbols of some kind, just imprinted along the inner surface of this beam or I-beam. I thought, that looks like hieroglyphics. But you look at it, no, it's not hieroglyphics either. I don't know what this is. It was a series of geometrical patterns. It was certainly very different from anything I'd ever seen before or since.
My dad came home from work. He was really excited.
When Frankie Rowe was 12, her father told her a story she will never forget. A fireman at Roswell, he and his engine company were called out to a second crash site in the same area.
Got there, but we saw a crash of one of the flying saucers. And he said one of them was still alive, and it was walking around. And he said there were two other bodies, but they were in body bags, so he really couldn't see them. Mother asked him what they looked like, and he gave us a description about their size, said they were about the size of a small 10-year-old child.
Rumors swept the little town of Roswell. Alien bodies kept in a guarded hangar, crashed debris secretly flown to another location. The government moved quickly and created an innocent-sounding cover story. Major Jesse Marcel was ordered to pose with the faked wreckage of a weather balloon in this famous photograph that was fed to all the newspapers.
The material that he had taken to General Ramey was taken from him, and then a substitute, pieces of an old weather balloon were laid out, and the news media were called in, and Major Marcel had to pick up a piece and show it. And I don't know how he could even not have a grimace on his face, because it was a blatant lie.
For the lie to work, everybody in Roswell had to play ball. Men, women, and children.
I think anytime somebody is forced to keep a secret, it's going to affect them, their psyche, their well-being.
Denise Clark is another of the children of Roswell. Her father was a deputy sheriff and was one of the first men involved.
Not being able to tell the truth, I think, hurt our family. I feel like a part of my life has been ripped off. I feel like a part of our security has been destroyed.
Loretta Proctor lived close to the crash site. She believes that atomic testing was a factor in the Roswell incident.
I believe that that the reason there were so many flying saucers was that atomic bomb went off. So I think they were observing what was going on. I think they knew what was going on.
Radio station KGFL Roswell. When the story broke, they broadcast it. That is, until Judd Roberts got a phone call from Washington.
The Federal Communications Commission said, the next word you pop out of this, we'll monitor you, which we knew they could do. And you're gone, and your license is gone. And no hearings or anything else. We're telling you, do it and you're dead. Well, without a license and a radio station, why, you are, in fact, dead.
As the initial outside interest in the incident began to fade, the government was effectively killing the story. But back in Roswell, it would not be so easy to hide the truth. Too many people were involved, and they were talking to each other. When Frankie Rowe went to visit her father at work, a policeman showed some of the crash debris. It would change her life forever.
So while they were talking about it, they weren't paying any attention to me, and I just very quietly, I reached over and I got it. And I picked it up and played with it.
Soon, she would be sorry she ever saw the object. As Frankie and others in Roswell would quickly learn, the government wanted the incident kept quiet. To ensure that, they would be absolutely ruthless.
My father said, don't even talk about this. This is a non-event. Don't even discuss it with your friends.
I never felt like my father was allowed to give me the answers that I wanted as a child.
It was an amazing deal that the clamps came down. Well, the clamps are still down.
I just wish we could get to the bottom of this while I'm still alive.
Every year, there are fewer witnesses left alive. Yet the Roswell mystery continues to unfold as more of the children tell their stories. One of the most chilling is Frankie Rowe's.
A man that I believe was an officer came into the house. He told Mother to sit, and so she sat there, and he started talking to me, and he said, I understand that you think you saw something. And I said, well, I saw a piece of material. And he said, no, you didn't. And I don't understand his terminology. So I said, yes, I did. And the more I said, yes, I did, the more emphatic he got that, no, I didn't. And he said, don't you understand that you cannot ever say that you saw anything? Don't you know what you've seen here? That this is, you can never talk about this the rest of your life. And he said, there are things we can do. We can take you out here in the desert and no one will ever find your bodies. He finally said, he asked Mother, he said, can she keep a secret? And Mother said, yes. If we tell her, she will. And he said, well, if she doesn't, you'll all be dead. I try so hard not to do this. I don't want to live this again because we don't know for sure they won't do something. We will never know so long as I'm alive. They promised they would come back so long as I lived. How do I know they won't?
Out in the desert, the crash site remains undisturbed, unchanged for almost 50 years. At the old Army airfield, Hangar 84 stands as silent as a tomb, a decaying sentinel guarding a mystery it holds from the past. This was the cover-up that failed. Perhaps our first contact with an alien race, an event so important that the government wanted it kept secret at any cost. And the cost was high. Just ask Frankie Rowe or any of the other children of Roswell.
I think the world should be told all of the details from the beginning. But I don't think this is the only incident. I think there are others. And I think we are entitled to know about all of them.